Greetings. My name is Owen Ryder, and I am the author of the Christian book, The Hourglass by Owen Ryder. I dare say there has never been a time in our lives when anxiety, in its many forms, has been so much a part of our everyday existence. Combating this, at times, stealthy phenomena is one of our greatest challenges, as its existence can produce a myriad of emotions and behavior that can negatively affect even the most passionate Christian's existence. In the book of Romans, chapter 1 and verse 17, the Apostle Paul tells us that the just are those who have been justified by God for embracing his Son Jesus Christ's act of redemption, shall thus live by faith. He goes on to say that God's righteousness, as opposed to our self-righteousness, is revealed by our not only living by faith, but living from faith to faith. Keep in mind that it is possible for our anxieties to be positively affected by our willingness to live by faith in the finished work of Jesus Christ. An example being our eternal destiny having been settled, not because of our past failures, but because we one day trusted and continue to practically trust in his finished work. I can recall as a young Christian how I mistakenly became more enamored on trying to keep the commandments, which I came to discover only Christ could do. For even if I succeeded for a while, I would eventually fail to live up to the law and the Ten Commandments' perfect expectations. Eventually, I did come to realize that despite my failure, I had to by faith dust myself off, pick myself up, and move on in this faith journey. Hence, I came to understand that living faith to faith was not necessarily a perfect or sinless process, but a process whereby it kept on going. That is not to say Christians have a license to sin because of God's ever-available forgiveness. For quite the contrary, choosing to live a reckless, sinful life can potentially damage our ever-important faith and have disastrous results, leaving us with a sense that we are God's enemy and beyond reach to once again experience peace with him. Be that as it may, the traumas of our past, as well as even in the present, can unfortunately at times still surface in our being and be a cause for anxiety. Nevertheless, it is wise to fearlessly identify such things and give them to God, so to speak, and in the least begin the process of healing. There are things in all of our lives that have happened to us that we simply cannot change, whether they have been done to us or are things we have done to ourselves. Nevertheless, the blood that Christ shed on our behalf has given us a spiritual identity, and it is that new identity that we must by faith believe in and cultivate, hopefully with the biblical affirmation we should be getting from the pulpit and or the type of doctrinal teaching we choose to embrace. Mind you, our fallen nature is indeed guilty and can make us feel as much, and sometimes rightfully so. But Christ's act of redemption is there to deliver us, and hearing of his finished work victory, as well as internalizing it, can help us advance from a person who one day rightfully chose a life of faith to a person who has matured enough to live from faith to faith. For once we believe in Christ, our soul is positionally placed in him, and it is only through this gift of grace, rather than trying to earn his favor through our religious works, that we are able to understand, experience, and thus benefit from such a spiritual reality. My name is Owen Ryder. Thanks for listening.